Beautiful greetings and welcome back to my channel. So as I'm sitting here, I'm literally like realizing that the whole time that I'm in this place and space, I'm literally having to fight spiritually, energetically, the whole time. Like literally, there has been no point that there hasn't been beings or entities, demons or whatever these beings are that are around me right now, haven't been attempting to siphon, harvest, vampire energy, attack me spiritually, doing spell work and all kinds of other nonsense. Like literally, I'm over here minding my own business, working on what I am working on. And the whole time I'm being spiritually attacked. Like I cannot even make this up. And I'm thinking like, you know, I already know I've done nothing to these people. Some of these people I've never seen them a day in my life. Others of them are hired and they stalk me, right? But I've done nothing to these people. They literally come to certain places of wherever I'm at to steal my energy, to attempt to destiny swap, steal my star, do spell work. Like, I've been trying that this has been going on in so many of my other videos and lives. You go to the grocery store, they're customers, they're the workers. You go to the colleges, the universities, they're the janitorial, they're the maintenance, they're the students, they're, so many different, the professors, right? The staff, faculty. It doesn't matter where you're going. And some other people that are chosen high vibrational beings have actually come to this same realization. Like this Reiki master that I just barely started watching, he was actually talking about it in one of his shorts. And I was like, I know he's tapped in because that's the same exact thing that I know is going on. And he literally stated it. His name is Justin. I forget what his channel name is, but I have a couple of his videos throughout my community board. Okay. Shavi Zane has said it. Supreme Spiritual Being. Wait, what is hers? Let me see. I'm gonna find her really quick. I'm gonna go to my just give me a second. I'm looking. It's funny because like usually this is definitely a bad angle. This is not my photogenic angle that I have in the camera right now. If I for show. Let's see. I think this is yeah. Supreme Being 9999. At Supreme Being 9999. Mystic 9, the intuitive. She said it too in one of her videos, I'm pretty sure. So anyways, it's quite a few of us that's on the same knowing about these weird ass beings that just, listen, I'm over here on the laptop working, minding my own business, and I'm just feeling all these different forms of attack. Like, I cannot even, like, so many different attacks just for being in a space with other beings. This is why some, like, shamans, no, I'm not even going to say some shamans, a lot of shamans, they go out in the middle of nature and they get out of the cities because of this kind of BS. Like, they don't want to be inundated with other people. Just being around other people, there's a whole bunch of things that actually happen. Okay? And now there's actually a lag on my live because I'm seeing it. Interesting. So there's a lot of things that happen when you're in close proximity with people, and that's why they say, "Tell me who you're with, and I'll tell you who you are." Tell me who you're with, and I will tell you who you are, because this is not just, people don't just affect you based off of, influence and being a bad influence or a good influence. They are affecting you physiologically. They are affecting you mentally and definitely spiritually. Now, there are some people that they don't realize that their energy is affecting those that are around them. But then there are those that use it as a weapon, and they know exactly what they're doing with their energy. And they will purposely take themselves to a negative space, a sad space, around an empath, so the empath will pick that energy up, and they are wanting to use it in a warfare type of way that the empath will then take that on as their own energy themselves. Okay, back in the day, I didn't know that that was not my energy, and so when these beings would do stuff like that, like, I was taking it on like it was my energy. Okay, so anyways, wow, I'm ready for the level that these motherfuckers can exist in. I'm ready for the level that they are exiled from. I want to work in peace without, you know, being energetically, like, I'll work and they doing all this stuff, and then I'll have to whoop some, and then I go back to my work. But I shouldn't have to experience that just to do what I gotta do, you know? But in one of my other videos, I was talking about how, like, simple little things that should be very easy to complete, they be doing so much spell work on, to try to make it that much more difficult. Sometimes they're trying to block it all together, so then you're like, just, I mean, I'll give you an example. Back when they were doing a lot more electronic harassment, they were doing, it was like, I did a video where I was talking about how I was going to the post office, just like a few years ago, And it was like my brakes were on the whole way I was rolling to the post office because they did not want me to get there. And so it was this resistance. I'm talking about real, this is not like imagined resistance. This is resistance that people who have pushed my wheelchair around like grocery stores or various different stores literally can feel it. And they have asked me if my brakes were on. They checked my brakes ain't on, and it will feel like my brakes are on. Okay, so I'm telling you, it's not just like a, a, a non-felt, a non-experiential type of resistance. This is like other people have literally felt this resistance that I'm talking about, like with the mechanics of my wheelchair. So with that being said, you know, I'm resilient. I'm a fighter. You know, I will fight until I do everything that I was assigned to come here and do. But, you know, I shouldn't have to live the rest of my life fighting just to work on things and live everyday life. These people have done spell work. Like, I mean, I was like going back and forth with what was I going to tell you guys this part, okay? But these weirdos these diabolical, wicked, evil beings have went so far as to do like digestion spells and spells to have me like having some kind of like, uh, you know, digestive accidents, if you will. Basically, they want me to go on myself and be just like a smelly mess, you know. They've done smelly spells and all kind of, it's just like all kind of crazy stuff. And the digestion ones and the bathroom spells, they literally like have all these trinkets and things that they done did in the bathroom when I get in there, you know, leaving they payments of pennies like literally in the door jams and stuff like that. Like I just found that the other day. They put the penny like right where the door crack is, the hinges, where the door hinges. They put the penny right there thinking I wasn't going to see it or get it. You know, copper is a high payment for spirituality. Okay, that's why they use a lot of pennies. But the thing is like I cannot even make this. Uh, they they have really been going hard because for that, it's like they have done it for multiple reasons. One, because they want to have me in a embarrassed, humiliated kind of energy. They want me to be in a smelly space because that also attracts demons, right? Confirmation with the little whoop whoop. I don't know if y'all heard that in the background, but there, it's multiple folds. The like I know I said it in one of my other videos is that when you are not hygienic in your private parts, it will also not only attract demons, but it also attracts jinns. And a lot of times that's when people, I'm not saying all the time, but that's the time that people do have like essays in their dreams and things like that because they've attracted jinns from unhygienic, you know, smells or whatever. That's not always the case, okay? So don't get it twisted. Sometimes it happens in clean experiences, clean, hygienic, you know, times or whatever to certain people as well. But you know, they have been doing that digestion spell stuff for a few years now, and I've not brought it up because it was like it's a little, you know, but it's very interesting the types of spell work that these people do and the lengths that they will go and the amount of people that they will recruit. Like literally, I was in a place, not this place that I'm in, but I was in a place where it was like 15 or 16 people, and out of all those people, it was only 2 people that weren't attempting to war with me. Only 2, which is insane. And a lot of places, that's what they're actually doing to the chosen high vibrational beings. Because, like I've already stated, many of us are waking up. I don't like to use that word, becoming aware. And as we become aware, their supply limits. And it gets limited and more limited. And that's a video I did a few years ago. I was talking about we are not giving them any free lunches. You know, we'll be like the Panthers and give these babies some free, like, food lunches, but we're not giving these energy vampires and weird-ass entities no free lunches of our energy. Okay? So, anyways, I'm trying to be close enough because I realized that when I did the lives the other day on this device, the sound quality was not up to par. So, anyways, I'm not going to, as they say, run it up. I just wanted to come and tell y'all in real motherfucking time what these is doing right now. Like, this wasn't, you know, an hour ago, yesterday. I'm talking about right now in real time while I'm working on my projects and stuff. I just wanted to come while they really doing it. Okay? Throat chakras, confusion spells, like illusions, and like attempting to cover my third eye, put a veil over it and shit. It's all kind of shit these motherfuckers been doing all day. All day. And I made a video on Nieve Tigre's YouTube channel about him going to the vet after he got in a fight with a possum. And so he had to get, you know, a rabies shot, and he also had to get an antibiotic or whatever. And I know that the vet knew what they were doing when they explained to me how the whole prescription thing was going to work. But the lady at the front desk, she was like, oh, well, maybe it was a misunderstanding or whatever. You know, I'm very intelligent, not to toot my own horn. My cognitive ability is supreme, superb, okay? I'm really good at following directions. I'm really good at making directions for other people to follow. If I'm not capable of doing that, you know somebody's fucking with my energy and my mind. Okay, something ain't right. If I can't give somebody direction, and I'm an elite master fitness expert, and that's what I've done for over 20-something years, 21 plus years, is make plans and give motherfuckers orders to do things. You know, people used to talk about, oh, I'm bossy. I was bossing people around for a living. I got paid to boss people around. I didn't do it like a drill sergeant, but I'm just saying that's what I did. That's what I do. So it's just in me. Okay? So if I'm not able to configure the order of operations of what should be, there's a Houston, we got a problem. We got a problem. And if I'm fumbling for my words, that's interference. because I have never had a problem with speaking. And I'll tell you this, I had teachers that would limit the amount of pages I could turn in for a paper that was due. I had teachers that put time limits or word counts, time limits on speeches. I remember in 8th grade I did an 18-minute speech. I think she never said how long we were supposed to do the speech for. But because I did it for 18 minutes, she told everybody else 5 minutes. I cannot even make this up. But my speech was excellent. So that wasn't that wasn't the problem. But my problem has never been speaking, communicating, and bossing people around or giving orders or directions. Fitness, as a fitness expert, you have to be able to clearly describe things to other people, demonstrate them for them to be able to execute them themselves properly. Baby. Okay. So, anyways, that was not the point of this video. The point of this video is I'm ready for them to be exiled out of my experience today. But it's like everywhere, it don't matter where I have been. I've been in all these different places and spaces and cities, and if the motherfuckers haven't followed me, it's other mofos. Because some of these organizations are nationwide. Some of these organizations are worldwide. And if they're connected by demons, baby, they all over the place. And they communicate by many different means, not just the telephone. Like I said, some of them, do bodily signaling. And there's only one woman that I've watched on YouTube who actually showed videos and talks about the signaling. Yeah, of these people. I want to say she has an accent, but I'm not exactly sure where it's from. But I think that she might be from like the islands, like Jamaica or something, because she does use a lot of bomba clocks. So if I were to make my educated guess, my hypothesis, if I were to, give my answer without phoning a friend, okay, or using the lifeline, I would say she was from Jamaica. But anyways, I'm not gonna, as they say, run it up. It was 2332, which is a mirroring number when I looked at the timestamp. Okay. So, anyways, if you guys need anything else from me, you can always find it in the description. As you know, like my two, actually not my three websites. My activity ebook that I authored, illustrated, and self-published, and as if you guys have been paying attention to my community board, baby, I just authored, illustrated, and self-published a new ebook, and this one is about Her Majesty the Queen of Hawaii, and I'm pretty proud of this work, and it is actually self-published, and I'm pretty excited for people to be able to read and see this, because that was another thing that I was working on in secrecy and silence, and it's finished, baby. Now I can tell y'all. So anyways, I have some posts on my community board about that. If you would like to make love offerings, aka donations, and support this channel, you can do so by hitting up my Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, or buying me a coffee. And if financial means do not allow for you to do any of those things, then you can always support this channel for FREE, free 99, okay? By liking, sharing, subscribing, hitting the notification bell so you could be alerted whenever I have a new video or live. And, it's the beginning of the week. It's the hump day. So y'all could, well, when I'm recording this, when I'm doing this live, but whenever you see it, if you got to hype me up. Hype me up. I don't got 99 problems, but I definitely got 100 reasons. I don't got, I'm not claiming 100 problems. I'm not claiming 99 problems, but I got 100 reasons. I probably got one main problem left, okay? And I'm working on solving that and manifesting that one out of my life, okay? I guess this will be 1.5 with these weirdos that's trying to follow me around and, the ones that just show up, like, yeah. I'm ready to live a life free of that, free of energy vampires. So whoever is down to figure out how to exile the vampires, because I was watching Shavi Zayn and she finally came to this conclusion, which I've been talking about this for years now. But she was like, they're all around us. She said, I think, she titled her video something, they're not like us, they're not human. Because they're not. I've been told y'all that. Confirmation with the horn in the background. Y'all heard it. I've been told you they wasn't human. So anyways, it's giving that movie They Live. They Live. It's really giving that. But what she said, which is key, is she was like, it seems like there's more of them somehow than there are real, beings like us, like, real living flesh and blood, organic, beings. And in our cases, high vibrational beings of chosen star seeds, indigos, all the high vibe tribes, right? It seems like they somehow it's, and that's why I came to the conclusion too, because how is it that there's out of 15, 16 people, there's only 2 in there, in that place, not this place that I'm at, but the place I was at, it was only 2 that wasn't. That means all them other ones gotta be them, that they ain't like us, okay? So anyways, I'm in this video. Y'all don't let these energy vampires suck you dry. And if they start to, cut them cords, and you might have to chop off some spiritual heads. I got my machete ready. Okay? I told y'all some of these spiritual cords, they need machetes. The United States cord on the Indigenous, baby, that's one that needs a machete. Okay? Stop playing with me. All right, but with that being said, I'm out. Peace.